Hey, Dan Passarelli here. Happy Friday and almost happy weekend. I hope you have a great one. But before we get into the weekend, let's talk about what maybe you could consider spending your time on this weekend. So, there's a lot of different sources for news, and it just takes a long time to read all the things that you would like to read, whether that's learning from reading a book or if it's from doing the research. There's so many different sources for information out there, and when it comes to trading, there's so many different numbers, so many different, um, you know, uh, things that you have to read about a company to really get good with it. That man, it's time consuming. So when do you do it? Well, what about the weekend? I mean, look, if you're a trader, you're doing this not just to make money. You're doing it because you enjoy it, right? If you're going to be good at anything, you have to enjoy it. So why not spend a little bit of time this weekend, maybe doing a little bit of research? Now, I'm not a huge fundamental analysis kind of guy. Most option traders are not. But I have found that when I pay just a little bit of attention to some of the numbers, I end up putting on better trades. Go figure. And though there are a lot of sources, I want to bring one to your attention here. This is Barron's.com. If you just simply go to barons.com/market-data/stocks, you will end up on this page, and all you have to do is type in a symbol like, DTC Solo Brands here or something, right? And this is a stock that, ends up showing up on Options Radar. One more note, this is actually a great example to point something out. Percent of float, it says non-applicable. And when I see NA, I don't really know what that means. So I always cross-check it, and I'll just go to like TD Ameritrade login and look, and they actually do have a high percentage of float. So even some of the best news sources out there can have some things that are goofed up, and if you see some that looks funny, always cross-check it. But this, you can just eyeball a whole bunch of really great information. Their shares outstanding, earnings per share, PE ratio, which in this case is NA because it's negative, as you can see here from the earnings per share. Yet it's rated as a buy. What I always like to do, especially when I'm looking for short squeeze candidates or maybe put credit spread candidates or something like that, I just go down here to the financials, and you can look at annually or quarterly. As an active trader, I find quarterly is better. As an investor, I find annual is maybe better. And look, their top line sales are this. Their top line sales have been kind of basically growing, not a complete straight line or anything, but they have a little histogram on the side. And then, you can read this. This is sort of a simplified version of their income statement. And then I'll just come down here to net income, and I'll take a look and see what that is. And you can really get a pretty good view of what's going on with the company just by looking at a couple of numbers. And you can do some look at the research ratings, charts. I always just like to use the Thinkorswim charts. I think they're great. Company and people, because let's face it, the people who are involved in the company are the ones who ultimately determine the success of it. But there's a lot of different figures here. So this barons.com/market-data/stocks, and then you just type in the symbol here. Really useful. You should look at that for maybe all the positions that you have on, and see if maybe the outlook that you come up with from looking at some of these things is congruent with the outlook that you have in the positions in your account. If you look at one of these companies and you say, wow, these guys keep losing more and more money every quarter, and you're long a bunch of deltas in there, it might be time to reevaluate. And over the weekend, when you have time to spend the time on it and think about it, it's just an excellent use of your time. I hope that helps. This is Dan Passarelli. Have an excellent weekend, and I'll see you Monday ready to dominate the market again. Trade smart.